finally, after 8 long years, Sunderland are finally preparing for a Premier League fixture. After going through heartache and managers like David Moyes, Simon Grayson, Chris Coleman, Jack Ross, Phil Parkinson, Lee Johnson, to getting false dawns under Alex Neil, Tony Mowbray, the disastrous spell of Michael Beale and Mike Dodds. Finally, Registably and Sunderland and its supporters can thrive in the fact that on Saturday they walk out the Stadium of Light in a Premier League fixture against West Ham United. It's going to be a lot to enjoy. It's going to be a lot to take in. I think nerves will end up hitting in tomorrow at some point for myself and fellow Sunderland supporters. But it's something to be proud about, the fact that our club's back in the Premier League. And we can sit there and just go out there and enjoy it, the same as everybody else. Not as much as what Jermaine Pennant said, that we're on holiday. We have a good chance as anyone to stay up. Yes, I know it's going to be difficult and everything like that, but we're not poo-poo Jermaine. We're actually got a half-decent side if you look out on paper. Our talent's got more talent in it. Our squad's got more talent in it than you had in your entire career, son. So we'll have less of that, all right? I would say it's West Ham United. I think the first 3 fixtures, if you offered any of the newly promoted sides that, they'd snap your hands off. I'm not saying Sunderland have an easy first 3 fixtures, but it's a lot more manageable than Burnley's and Leeds'. And I think the opening fixture against West Ham is a very, very good one at home. The first fixture being at home, I think the ground will be bouncing, to be honest with you. I think it really, really will. First, as you say, the first Premier League game in 8-9 years, so it's going to be massive. The crowd will get behind the lads, and it'll be bouncing. It'll be similar to what we felt in playoff games and everything like that. And I think it's going to be great. If we get an early goal, the roof will come off if it had one. On to West Ham, because I always hear about West Ham and West Ham supporters be watching it and everything like that. Last season they finished 14th. They won 11, drew 10, lost 17, picking up 43 points in the process. Julian Lopetegui replaced David Moyes last summer after David Moyes was let go, didn't renew his contract, whatever. And he came in, obviously manager of Wolves before in the Premier League, did relatively okay, managed Real Madrid, Spain national teams. He came with a good pedigree, and he got sacked in January when the club were 14th in the league, and he was replaced by Graham Potter, who took them to 14th, and they didn't really do much with them. If anything, he just kept them plodding on. And look, I'm not trying to say West Ham would have been something in trouble last year, because obviously they finished above Man United and Spurs, because they did. But the gulf in the gap between the bottom 3 last year, I'm going to say there wasn't any danger of them going down. Will it change this year? I don't know. You never know. So I'm not trying to sit there and say the top 3 this year, the 3 newly promoted teams are better than the 3 newly promoted teams last year. But they were never ever going to go down, to be honest. But yeah, there's a bit disconnect towards Potter last year. If they don't start off sharply on Saturday, could it continue? I know they're away from home, but they're a loud bunch, so you will hear them. I no doubt we'll hear them. So could they show a little bit disconnect? There has been mumblings around pre-season. Don't think they're getting what they would like in the transfer market so far yet. We'll get onto that in a bit. So I think if Sunderland can get at them early and get an early goal, I think the West Ham fans will start getting on the players' backs, and you never know what will happen. Bad habits of last year could sink in, because they haven't really changed the team much if you look at last year's team. On the transfer window, they have completed a few permanent signings. They activated the permanent clause, or were forced to, depending who you talk to, of John Clay's Todibo from Nice for 40 million euros. They signed El Hadji Malik Diouf, a left wing back from Slavia Prague, for 22 million euros. They signed Mads Hermansen from Leicester for 20 million quid. And I would have had Mads Hermansen here. I think he's a quite decent goalkeeper. But you think he's come up from a newly promoted team. If someone goes against him, if he gets a bit nervy, could there's again bad habits of last season creep in? You never know. And they've also completed the free agent signings of Kyle Walker-Peters and Callum Wilson, former Newcastle striker Callum Wilson. So if you look at it on paper, I think Juice is a decent left wing back from what people have said in pre-season. He's an absolute giant and he's meant to be rapid. Is Hermansen an improvement on Areola? Yeah. So they've done them 2 businesses there, but the Todibo sign, depending who you read on Twitter and everything like that, he was a bit of a bad egg last year. was Tadibo, and you don't know if West Ham fans wanted him or anything like that. So it's a difficult one to judge that really. And obviously Kyle Walker-Peters relegation from Southampton, but he's a steady option. He would have been okay signing for Sunderland. And to be fair with Callum Wilson, I can't remember the last time he played for Newcastle, to be honest. He didn't score last season, and I think he's just one of them. Obviously they've got Nicholas Fulkirk up front, but he's very injury prone as well as Callum Wilson is, so you never know. They have got a few players returning from their loan that'll bulk out the first team squad. Naya Aguerd, who has been linked with Sunderland all summer, has returned from his loan spell at Real Sociedad, and Maxwell Cornet has returned from his loan spell at Genoa. And so he'll be out the squad, but again, they didn't want him last year. Are they going to come in and play this year when they're not wanted last year? And they've been actively trying to sell Naya Aguerd for all summer. And West Ham fans, if you read on the forums, were buzzing that we were linked with him and they were hoping someone were going to sign him. So again, they're a hard team to judge, West Ham. Like, they've got some good players. I'll get onto them in just a sec. But they're one of these teams where you don't know what they're going to give you, really. Like, they turn up, they've got good players, and they seem like they've got a good team, but they turn up, and sometimes they can be shit. But obviously, it's the first game of the season, it's a fresh season. But obviously, Potter's tried to work on different things in pre-season. So you never know what they're going to be like. And when having the players that they have, they're always capable of damaging sides. Speaking of pre-season, they've played 5 games, they've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. You probably argue that's a successful pre-season. They're getting the minutes in the leg, getting some few wins against Premier League opposition. I mean, they beat Grasshoppers 3-1, they beat Everton 2-1, they beat Bournemouth 2-0. They drew with Lille 1-1, but it was like a friendly cup competition, so they ended up winning it on penalties. And they lost 2-1 to Man United as well. So, obviously, they're beating teams in the Premier League, but what you don't really take much from pre-season. The same with Sunderland. We've lost more games than we've won in pre-season, but it doesn't make one bit of difference once you cross that white line on Saturday and the game kicks off, as anything can happen. As I say, he's been trying to tweak with 3-4-3 in pre-season as Graham Potter. His latest lineup against Lille was Areola in goal. His back 5 was Wan-Bissaka right wing back, Diouf at left wing back, with Tadibo, Kilman and Aguerd in centre half. He's been playing Potts and Ward-Prowse as 2 sitting midfielders, with Paquetá and Bourne as 2 inside forwards, with Fulkirk up front. And look, Fulkirk's got a few goals in pre-season, but apparently Graham Potter wasn't particularly happy with him against Lille, said he could play better, but then he improved and got his goal. But I see people saying the back 3 still sceptical. I mean, it's a slow back 3 if you look at it like that. So obviously like the pace of Talby and Mayenda and Idingra going at it, so it might benefit Sunderland. But it's not all. That thing there is good enough. It's good enough to beat Sunderland on Saturday. Will they? I don't know. I don't think they will. I fancy Sunderland. That's just me. But as you see, they've got dangerous players that could sit there and really punish you if you let them. If you let them dictate the game, especially Jared Bourne. We'll get into Bourne in a minute. But yeah, so then obviously Kyle Walker-Peters come off the bench. Thomas Soucek come off the bench. Guido Rodriguez was playing for Real Betis in Argentina a few years ago. He's come off the bench. So they've got a half-decent team, but it's very, like, some of the players are old, they're aging, like the midfield. Like, if you listen to the WTF podcast, the preview one with them, the West Ham supporter on there said the midfield's very slow. So could that benefit Diarra and Siddiqui, which is why I think Siddiqui will play. I mean, yes, James Ward-Prowse is excellent from set pieces, but I wouldn't say he's like an engine in midfield. Will they go with the inexperience of Potts in midfield, or will they bring someone like a Soucek or Rodriguez in? Again, aging, slow, could it benefit our speedy, energetic midfield? You never know. So it's up in the air. I mean, if you look at it from a home fixture against a team who haven't really done much in the transfer market, and you'd sit there and you go, yeah, that's the perfect fixture for you. But as we get on to now, they have got a few danger men where if you give them the opportunity, they will punish Sunderland. Like Jared Bourne, 13 goals in 34 games last season for West Ham, who finished 14th. It's outstanding, really. He's always been a clinical goal scorer for West Ham since he signed from Hull. He's been a talisman, really. And I'm honestly shocked he hasn't been picked up by somebody else. I really haven't. He's been for West Ham for that long. I'm surprised no one's actually took a punt on him, to be honest. But he's still there, and he'll play on Saturday. And if we give him the opportunities, he will punish us because he is that good. He's unfortunate that he's got a lot of options ahead of him for the England setup, unless he'd be in around it. They've got Lucas Paquetá. Yeah, he only got 4 goals last season, but he's a brilliant player, Lucas Paquetá. Formerly of Lyon, that's where they signed him from. He's been continuously linked with Manchester City for I think it's the last 3 transfer windows. And I think the one reason he hasn't gone was because of his betting thing, where he's been found not guilty of. So yeah, but we look after that. They've got, if you give them set piece, because we're liable to give stupid free kicks away, because we do. We're effectively an inexperienced team. Ward-Prowse will damage you with these set piece plays. You know he will. And he's going to whip crosses in the box. You'll have Falkirk, who's over 6 foot. You've got Thomas Soucek, will always be an aerial threat. Obviously, the back 3 themselves are tall fellas, you know what I mean? They're no slouches. So we'll have to work really, really hard and make sure we don't give them any cheap set pieces in around the box. But if we play to our strengths, like energetic midfield, your pacey front line, obviously if Dan Ballard, players like Dan Ballard in the playoffs and heads everything away, does Alderete start? Personally, I would if he was fit enough. Jensen Seal has done well in pre-season, but I think you go for the more top-level experienced player if he's fit. Rainier will play left back and Trey Young will play right back and be Roos in goal. So that'd be a back 5 to base it upon. It'd be the same team that played against Augsburg last week for Sunderland, really. So you have your front 3 of Talby, Mayenda and Adingra, who very, very pacey. Against the City C, a slow back 3, but then you've got your 2 wing backs who will obviously cover them and stuff. Wan-Bissaka has been one of the top rated right backs, one-on-one defending wise, for a very long time. I don't know why he got as much stick at Man United as he digs up there. I think he's an excellent footballer. And as we've discussed, that Malik Juice, a tall fella, and he's rapid and he can deliver a good cross. So you'll get up and down that wing. If you're going to stick with the 3-4-3, then obviously that means Trey Human has got to be switched on, as well as Granit Xhaka in the middle. I'm more sure if anyone's going to be ready, it's going to be Granit Xhaka. So you've got to stop them balls into Bourne and Paquetá. Don't let them dictate the play. Don't let them get any half chances around the edge of the box, because we're in the Premier League. If you make a mistake, you're going to get punished at this level. So we've got to stay switched on. You can't have like the airy moments that we had in the Championship last year. On that though, if we stick to our game plan and we play to our full potential, and obviously if we get at them early doors, obviously us as fans get behind them, get behind the lads and everything like that, and we make it a proper occasion where West Ham get a little bit overawed about it, which obviously they're experienced footballers, they shouldn't. There's no reason why Sunderland can't get off to the perfect start and go and win this game. I personally think we will. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet in the process. I think West Ham will score, but I think it'll be a 2-1, 3-2 type of game. Obviously, we haven't been really prolific in pre-season, but we're creating chances. And like Mayenda missed a hatful against Augsburg last week. And look, it was similar to pre-season last season. He missed a hatful, then he went and bagged early doors, and the rest is history for Mayenda. I think he'll score on Saturday in Mayenda, I really do. I think he'll get a half a chance. Like the end of the day, if it was me, and I was a centre-half like a Kilman or a Gued or a Tadebo, and I haven't got that much pace, and I've got him driving at us, you're going to be worried about it. He's very high-quality centre-forward on his days, Mayenda. So I think it'll be 2-1, 3-2. First of many this, so hopefully we'll get back at it. Just hope we get a good result. I'll be with you Sunday with the review show. I know this has gone out later, but I feel a little bit bits and pieces on tonight, so I'm getting it out late. Hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for all the support over pre-season. I love doing these. Obviously there'll be more regular now with the league campaign starting. See you all at the weekend. Enjoy the match. Hopefully we're picking up 3 points. How are the lads?